I'm an old school projectionist who's been remaindered. And I'm having my revenge. But you have to really watch it through the eyes of Finn Jones' character, because he gets manipulated by me. And if you buy into his character, he's the only one that knows the truth except for the audience. And as you watch him disintegrate, it's real frustrating. But then my plot starts to manifest.
It's quite an important topic as well. I mean, the lack of projection, the kind of the dying out of this great art. I mean, is that something that's important to you?
Well, it is important to me, but I in recent years I've had a kind of a new bit of hope, and that is that the long form storytelling that you find on cable now, the miniseries, I think it's expanding our attention spans again.
Yeah.
I just binged all of Penny Dreadful, and I just caught up also with a great American show called Rectify with one of your wonderful actresses, Adelaide Clemens. And so I have great hope. I think that we need to separate great event filmmaking like a 3D IMAX Life of Pi or Gravity. We need to keep those as this great, wonderful cinema event experience. And then we need to rediscover on Netflix and on Blu-ray, DVD, and on our flat screens and on our downloads. And we need to rediscover a lot of films that have fallen through the cracks.
Yeah.
So I think there's actually a greater shelf life now for good films that got neglected to be discovered than ever before in movies. And I just hope the fans use a little bit of effort.
Yeah.
You know, I've been telling everybody there's one that I've been watching on demand called Blue Ruin that is just an extraordinary little film. And I think it's time that we find those films, and that's a film you can watch on your laptop, as opposed to, Gravity, which you should be watching at the big event theater in IMAX 3D with a cocktail and a piece of cheesecake.
But nobody went to see Blue Ruin, which is the sad thing.
I know, but I think they can still find it. My wish is, my business manager did a terrific little film called Suicide Games, and it's been rediscovered by, amongst others, Quentin Tarantino. And so I think that these films will find a new shelf life. I think with the internet, I think with downloads, I think this can be a positive thing. And then we reserve the cinema, the temple, the church of movies for our event experiences.
I mean, speaking of which, obviously it's the 30th anniversary of Nightmare on Elm Street, and it's screening this weekend. I mean, how does that make you feel about it? A whole new audience discovering it.
How does that make me feel? Oh, very old. But you see, I'm fortunate, and this is another hope I have with technology. See, I came of age, my career came of age with the new technologies. I was a disc jockey, a VJ on MTV, both as Freddy and out of makeup. I was there at the beginning of the video revolution and the beginning of the cable revolution, and my movies played there early on, and then DVD, and then DVD Blu-ray, and box sets and box set special editions of videos, and now downloads Netflix. And so I've been very lucky. I'm on my third generation of fans, because if you take a double bill of Nightmare 3 and 4, and you take the Blu-ray digitally remastered DVD, and you pop it in with your 12-year-old son and watch it in the man cave on a 48-inch curved flat screen, it looks better now than when you saw a scratchy print at the divided up movie theaters of our youth, or even the old videos that we all shared. So I'm kind of having hope again for a resurgence in cinema, and especially in the discovery of films that have, as I said, fallen through the cracks.
Yeah.
One thing that interests me is your character in this film is quite different. He's actually got quite a sweet kind of quality to him in some ways. How did you go about getting into character?
Well, first of all, I felt very comfortable with Phil Hawkins. I loved his script, and I knew the second day that I could surrender my vanity. So I'd gained some weight, and I shaved off my chin, and I grew the rattiest mustache imaginable. And I actually channeled a little bit of the great English actor-director Richard Attenborough. Oh. He was in a wonderful film I love called A Seance on a Wet Afternoon, about a famous murders in England. And there was something about the banality of evil in his performance that I wanted to bring to Stewart. And even though that movie is almost documentary realism, and our movie is definitely geared for a certain kind of fun. I still borrowed a little bit, channeled a little bit of Sir Richard.
I noticed there's a number of scenes where you're just kind of sitting there quietly watching things. How much of that was your own improvisation?
Oh no, this is a meticulously structured film. Because of the nature of the plot, it has to be. I think maybe there's only like 2 or 3 pages of the script that didn't make the final cut. Yeah, so we had to really be on top of the continuity.
Because of the
oh yes, and I can remember, I don't want to divulge too much, but Emily Barrington's blouse plays a really great part in this film, and my wife, when she saw it, they sent us a little screener, and when my wife was so creeped out by that scene, which I shall not go into detail on, but because it's that thing where you can suggest something without showing it, but we had to be so. I remember Emily worrying about whether she was, how to wear the blouse, if she was in the right sequence, and I didn't have that much continuity with my wardrobe, but I was also I was different. I behaved differently with everybody in the movie. I had a different personality, sort of, for everyone in the movie, and then of course there's the real story. We all do that in real life, and that was something that Phil let me do.
That's great.
Yeah.
What are your plans in terms of developing future characters? Do you want to go pure evil again, or something with a slightly softer edge?
Well, genre's work's been very good to me, and my fans have been very loyal, so I try to do at least one sci-fi, horror, or fantasy film every year or so, and then I just go where I'm wanted. I'm basically a character. I'm an old character actor for hire. I always have been, but I have 3 movies coming out and some interesting reality television work, which is kind of interesting to dabble in, and I have some more projects on the back burner. So I just go where I'm wanted, go with the flow. I love Last Showing, and I think that Last Showing is probably going to aid my 4th act in show business a bit, but I just finished my 78th movie. I've been making movies since summer of '73, so I'm still here.